What is going on, everyone? Steve-O Supremo here, and I am just another game collector. And a video that I'm on take 3 now because I just start get rambling and going down the wrong path with the video. I'm going to try to keep it more precise and on point on this take. Plus, my neighbor's dogs are barking like crazy. So if you hear the barking in the background, I apologize. I'm not resetting the video again. Whatever this take is, we're just rolling with it. Because this is a video I want to do for a couple days ever since I first watched Y2K Collector's video on it. Really enjoy the Y2K Collector and his thoughts on collecting. Man, that guy, I don't know how he's able to think of all these topics to pump out like 3 videos a day. It's insane. But kudos to him for that. And he's well spoken, just love his stuff. But he did a video on Mr. Rightway's video of why video game collectors hate resellers and scalpers. Then Heck and Steve, he did one too. And it's like, man, I want to jump on this too and make one as well. I know I've kind of made one at the beginning of the channel, this channel's incarnation, talking about reselling. So let's just dive into it again since it's like a topic that's going on right now. I can clear some things up. Maybe if you're a new subscriber, because when I made the video back then, channel was really tiny. And we've gotten a couple hundred subscribers since then. So let's put our thoughts out there again and share with everyone how I feel on the topic. Why video game collectors hate resellers. Now, I watched Mr. Rightway's video. I'm not subscribed to him anymore, so I didn't know this video would even come up. I haven't been subscribed to him for a while since some things started coming out about him, and I was like, you know what, that's not someone I can support anymore. So I hit that unsub button a while back. So I'm not sure what he's been up to lately with this channel, but I know the last time I had kind of watched it, he was really getting into the kind of reselling thing himself. He was buying games, even if he didn't need them, with just the full intention of selling them. Whether that was to get games for a profit so he can get stuff for his collection, I'm not sure. Maybe that was the whole point of why I want to get rid of it. I don't know, but he was reselling them. And in his video, he hates scalpers, but he doesn't mind resellers because he thinks resellers provide the service to make things available for people. And we'll get into it, but I hate that excuse about reselling. But he kind of sees them as two different things. So first and foremost, let's just kind of define what each of them are. We asked Google what a scalper was. The AI overview said a scalper is someone who buys something, likely event tickets or merchandise, then resells it at a significantly higher price, especially when it's in high demand or difficult to obtain. Resell for a profit. Okay, so we got what a scalper is. Reseller is a business or an individual that purchases goods or services from a manufacturer or another provider that sells them to end consumers for a profit. They essentially act as a middleman in the supply chain. They resell for a profit. That's the main thing here. They sell for a profit. The keyword of a reseller, scalper, they resell for a profit. Where is it at? There it is. Double it. Reselling for profit. So to me, like Heck and Steve said, they're both the same. They are the same to me. Scalpers, I guess, can be seen as more scummy because they're going into the retail stores and taking stuff off the retail shelves. But I see resellers as the same exact thing as they're going out to yard sales and stuff. The main connection being why the main reason people hate them is because they're taking opportunity away from the collectors to get stuff at the prices we would love to get things at on new items and new prices or new things coming out. Collectors would love to get that stuff at the retail cost of those goods. The Pokemon card stuff right now, I'm sure Pokemon collectors would love to get those at the retail price that they're being sold at. Even with games and game collectors, when these collector's editions and stuff come out, we would love to get those items for the price that the retail market has placed them at. But unfortunately, scalpers come in and can sometimes make it very difficult for that to happen. But a reseller is essentially doing the same thing. They're just going to the yard sale and taking that opportunity away from us to get that item at a cheaper price than what we would have gotten it for, say, if we had to resort to going online. And like I said, I kind of hate that excuse that the reseller kind of works as the middleman. Because no, it's just they're the getting in the way, man. Like you're getting in the way of a collector like me who wants to go out and get a game for a better price than having to pay the retail market on something. Like it would stink to have to pay $250 for a Cubivore for my GameCube collection, but man, if I can go out there and find it for even 150, I'd pay 150 like easy for it out there at a garage sale or something. Sure. That'd be awesome. And I know people would go out there to the garage sale if they saw it at $5. Like, man, yeah, they'd buy it for $5. Me personally, I still pay more for stuff like that. I do it all the time. People can believe me or not. I don't care. I know what happens in my life. I don't care what other people think, what other people thinks if I do that or not. And me personally, we just saw it with my last pickups video that I don't go out there and buy every single video game item that's at a yard sale. I only get what I want for my collection unless it's a bundle deal that they will not break up, and then I have to kind of weigh it. Like, do I want to do this or not? Do I want to get it? When I buy these collections from my buddy Garrett, who lives in the next town over, I weighed a decision. Like, do I really want to buy everything, or do I want to buy just what I want for my collection that's not a double? Because it can be a tough decision sometimes. Like, a lot of times I do just want to buy the stuff I want for the collection, but then Garrett, like, he's like, man, I really want to just get all this stuff out in one go. And we're buddies. So, I mean, it's just like I want to help him out by getting it out of his house. So there's factors that come into every decision, at least for me personally, when adding stuff to the collection. But I always try to be genuine, honest, fair. That's just how I live my life. I try to live it. I am a Christian, so as morally right as I can. So it just stinks when I see other people get taken advantage of at these yard sales. And that's another reason just hate resellers and scalpers too, because it's all about taking advantage of people and their stupidity or their ignorance on something. For example, go to a yard sale, you ask them, hey, do you got any video games? You're like, you know what? I do got some video games inside. Let me go get them. So they go inside, they get the games, they bring them out, and you go and they bring it out a 3DS and some games, maybe a PS2 even, some games, bring out a good amount of stuff. And you're like, oh, cool. Do you have a price in mind you want for this stuff? And they say, you know what? I haven't thought about that because I didn't bring them out here. I wasn't going to sell them. But, I mean, we can sell them. What do you think they're worth? And boy, oh boy, do these guys on YouTube especially hate when someone asks, what do you think it's worth? Because that means they have one of two options. You can either be honest and tell them what their goods are worth, and meaning you'd have to pay a higher price, potentially, or you can be a lying scumbag and say you don't know what they're worth and still shoot a lowball offer. Third thing, you just put it back on them, which is they always want to put it back on the seller because they know in the comments below, if they make that offer on that initial offer, they're going to get reamed in the comments for being a scumbag person. So they have to have the seller make the initial offer. Now, again, I can see in the comments, well, if they didn't want to sell their items, they can have the time to look up the numbers and price it. But from a guy who's had to have a yard sale when I moved across the country before, when you go and you're at a yard sale, it gets crazy. It gets hectic. I don't have time to put everything on hold. I'll have to start pricing things up. And the same thing with these people at their homes. It's taking advantage of their time and their focus on something. And so then they end up shooting out a number. And it's probably going to be a number they regret shooting out because they don't know what the items are worth and the ignorance on it. Now, instead of doing the right thing and saying, hey, that's actually a little bit too low, they're actually worth this, most of the time the person's going to say, all right, you got a deal. And that way they can still get away with saying, hey, I paid them what they asked, so all the fault is not on me anymore. So, hey, if you want to use that excuse, go for it all day. That makes you sleep better at night. I don't care. But you're wrong, and that's wrong in my opinion. So, and that's just what a lot of resellers do. So, but in that same vein, when you're in collecting, I think all of us are. We are a reseller in some sense or another. Like I said, collecting, like I got all these doubles from those bundle deals where people won't separate things that I will be selling at this local convention. Uh, Collectors in general, normally we have video games. Once they trade them and they beat them, they want to take it and trade it in. That's reselling and getting rid of a game. So I think we're all a form of a reseller when you are a collector. It's just what level of reseller are you? What level of scumminess are you? Are you lying to people at garage sales and stuff to get it for cheaper prices and stuff like that? Because if so, that's really dirty and it's nasty. But are you someone who's like, hey, I walked up to the garage sale. They have their games on the table listed at $1 each, and that's what I paid for it. And what do you know? Like $100 game is sitting in there, but I paid them what they asked. You know what? I don't really see fault on people when that happens because the games, they're sitting there priced. That means they could have had time to look it up beforehand. They knew they were going to sell it and they didn't look it up. That means to me they don't care. So they just put it out there to sell it. Me personally, if I see the game out there, I am going to pay them a little more, but I'm not going to hold it against the person who did buy it at $1 because they did pay that asking price. The person did have a price tag on it. At that point, if you knew you were going to be selling that item that day, you could have looked it up and done some research on it. So I feel myself getting long-winded again on this. We're already like over 10 minutes, so I'll try to wrap it up here because this is something I could like talk about for a while. But for the most part, the main reason people hate scalpers and resellers, again, you're just taking away opportunity for collectors who go out there who want to get the stuff. So that's pretty much the main reason. And I just don't I hate the scummy tactics that some of them use. Some of them are really good and they're genuine. They're like, hey, this is what it's worth. What would you take on it? And you'd be surprised. It's happened to me so many times. And again, it can backfire on you guys. If there's $500 worth of items there and you tell them it's worth $500, they might say, okay, I want $400 for it then. Or they can say, you know what? Like I said, this happens to me. That's what it's worth. How about $150 for it still? You'd be surprised how many times that happens where they still say, okay, thank you for your honesty and what it's worth. You can have it for this. Not saying it'll work every time, but most of the time, about 80% of the time for me, it works every time. All right, that's enough rambling. Let's move on to the next one. Catch you guys in the next one.